So over the past month and a half, we've been focusing a lot on the music, releasing music, showcasing the music, live performances, interviews, talking about the music, behind the scenes. And don't worry, we're gonna be giving you a lot of that still. We've got a lot of it working out for you. But today we wanted to kind of take some time off of that a little bit and show you something else that we're working on. This channel is not just about the music, it's also about where we live. I live on the east side of Houston, and there's a lot of things that are happening around here that are very exciting that I think you should know about, because should you ever be around here, I think you'd want to know that these places are here. So here we are today at Miss Carousel, a bar on the east side, right here on the East Village, right next to George R. Brown. And we're gonna talk to Tiffany, the bar manager, because not only is she a badass bartender, but also she's got quite of an accomplishment to share with us, and we couldn't be happier. Welcome to Let's Get a Drink. Hey Tiff, how's it going?
I am good. How are you today, Juan?
Doing good.
I made you something special today.
Yeah?
I did. I made me one too.
What's this drink called?
So this is called the Birds and Bees. The
Birds and the Bees.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a double entendre because, as you can see in Miss Carousel, it is much like a living room, and here's where you meet up with all your friends. You have a good time, you're relaxed, you can be yourself.
That is my favorite part about this place, actually.
Yeah.
It's not, it has, I've described it to people that like it evolves throughout the week. Like
It does.
It starts off in like a very specific like ambiance. It feels a very specific kind of way. Very like calm, relaxed. You can come in here, do homework or work or whatever, and then as like the weekend progresses, it like changes to the environment that's around.
It really does. So the really cool thing I think about Miss Carousel is this open concept where it can be anything and everything you want it to be, which is a perfect segue back into why it's called the Birds and Bees. And it really kind of started from, I wanted a bee's knees cocktail. And that is typically going to be gin, lemon juice, and simple syrup, a very basic, easy, well-balanced cocktail. And I wanted it to be a little bit more, which is what Miss Carousel is. It's a little bit more than what you might expect. So this cocktail does use dry gin. It has yellow chartreuse, Italicus, which is a bergamot liqueur, lemon oleo, egg white, and lemon juice with some wild honey. And then for the garnish that we put on top, it's bee pollen from a local bee farm, and the butterfly pea flower is from 0 Point Organics, which is a local microgreenery around here. So yeah,
You're going local.
I'm going as local as possible, and that's also something that we focus on in Miss Carousel, is highlighting local artists, whether it be the pieces of artwork that we have on the floor, whether it be the DJs and the jazz band that we have here, whether it be cross-utilization of ingredients that are local to here. We really want to focus on what makes this neighborhood what it is. And there's no better representation than taking something that's a little bit local, it's a little bit of across the pond, if you will,
Right.
with the chartreuse and italicas and the Tanqueray that we're using, but everything else is local to here.
This drink specifically is more than just a little bit more than carousel.
It is. So that is something
Right.
super exciting. Yeah, yeah, you know what?
This is the toast moment. This is the toast. Cheers! Look, cheers.
Cheers.
Because go ahead, Tiffany. Tell everybody about it.
Okay, so something really, really cool about this is
You can show it to the camera if you want. It's
okay, so this book is written by Nico Martini. He owns Bar Draft, and this is his first edition of this cocktail book. And what he did a few years ago was to go out and visit local Houston bars and get cocktail recipes that were a really good, solid representation of what the Houston culture is like. So bars, let's see who's in here. Johnny's Gold Brick, Lalo,
Yeah.
Anvil, Pastry War, BLT. They're all in this book with really good, well-balanced cocktails that have a lot of thought put into them.
Right.
So Nico reached out to me recently and asked if Miss Carousel wanted to be part of his new edition. So he asked me what I thought was the best representation of Miss Carousel, and to me, there's nothing better than the birds and bees, because it did start out with an inspiration for something simple, basic, and clean, and then it slowly devolved into 7 or 8 different renditions over the course of 6 or 7 months of me just trying to figure out exactly what I wanted in this cocktail.
Actually, we saw your notes, right?
Okay.
You had like a whole bunch of things crossed out and
Yeah.
everything, and like, to me, that's one of the things that when I saw it, I'm like, this is another sign, yet another sign of like these, everybody here, but you specifically, because this is, it's about you today. It's like another level of taking things seriously. You know what I mean?
It is.
Because
It
it's
is.
not just your average bar, it's not just your average menu, it's not just your average things that are happening around here. You get a lot of different kinds of people that kind of walk in and out of this place, and they don't necessarily know that part of, like, there's a lot of thought that goes into the concept of the menu, the concept of the bar, the concept, and
it's something that bartenders and myself, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm specifically a bartender anymore, although my love of bartending is just as deep as it always has been. But
it shows, because this is delicious.
I'm really glad you like it. My staff and I spend a lot of time and energy into very carefully putting things together in a cocktail with intention. Something that I like to preach is sophistication without pretension, where you can have a sophisticated cocktail,
Right.
And it doesn't have to be daunting to the guest. It can be, this really, really approachable cocktail, and it has these layers of complexity that can be obtained, whether it be your staff is making an oleo or a shrub or doing something that's clarified or just going hard on your garnish game. Every single component in a cocktail requires this passion, this creative ability,
Right.
and it is the greatest honor for me to be able to provide that kind of creative space, not only for myself, but for my staff as well.
Right.
And I think that translates really clearly into what the image of Ms. Carousel is. And it's this almost this creative collective meeting of the minds, whether it be creativity through liquids or through food with our chef, the pieces of artwork that are on the wall all the time, the jazz group, our DJs that come in. Every single person that comes into this building that contributes is extremely talented and creative, and I think every single one of them should be considered an artist.
I've been coming here more seriously over the past 2.5 months, and because we had a very interesting first meeting, which maybe we'll get into.
We can
way
talk
in the
about it. No,
future.
we can talk about it now. It's officially
Okay,
it's
but,
fine.
We won't talk about it right now, but like for later on, whenever especially once we get our camera guy there too, he's gonna vouch for this story because he was with me. But Ever since then, you and I started kind of having a conversation about working together, and I have slowly realized that everybody here is on that same page that you are, right? At the very least, contributing to it, right? Maybe they're not
100%.
making decisions, maybe they're not, but they're contributing to that mentality, to that meeting of the minds thing that you're talking about. Because you're connected to 2 restaurants. Mm-hmm. And then this bar makes the drinks for
Indian only. Yep.
for the main restaurant.
Yep.
And there really is a collaborative effort here. There is a band that comes in. So there's different kinds of people and I just think that that's really smart on your part, on the bar's part, and then just again, then being even smarter with the way that you guys are not only presenting these things but making these kinds of drinks accessible. I mean, on Saturday night at 1 a.m. it is loud, it's thumping, it's like the music. I mean, there's people dancing everywhere. So it's a completely different bar than what it looks like on Sunday.
Yeah.
And yet the menu itself, this drink, should you get it on Saturday night at 1 p.m., it still hits exactly the same.
Yep.
Or if it hits different, it doesn't feel off place. It doesn't feel off-putting.
Our bartenders take a lot of pride in what we do, and it's so humbling to be able to be a part of this and also navigate a team through COVID. Like that's, it's been the same core.
I didn't even think about that.
It's been the same core people the entire time, where we would sit for hours after work on Saturday because we were still closing at midnight because it wasn't busy. We had no idea what to expect, and just having these conversations until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning of what our ambitions are and what the game plan is and what eventually we are going to challenge ourselves to do. And that's where this drink specifically kind of came out of that, was born from that, was what is this almost phoenix rising from the ashes, if you will, kind of mentality. How can you run a successful beverage program during a global pandemic? And we have found a way to not only run our concept but also grow and expand as well.
When it comes to the bars that you mentioned earlier, Pastry Wars, Lalo, Gold Brick, those bars have been around for a while.
Yeah.
I think longer than Carousel?
Yeah, we opened in October of 2018. I was not part of the company until January 2020, right before COVID hit me. So I'm very fortunate that they kept me the entire time.
All right.
But Ms. Carousel is still a little bit in her infancy, if you will. So it's been really interesting to see what kind of creative expression that we have, and the identity that Miss Carousel has just kind of organically taken on. And it's this extremely, it's very dichotomous. Yeah. Before 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it's very lounge, kind of relaxed, calm, cool. And then Fridays and Saturdays, when 10 o'clock hits, it's almost like Club Carousel. And it still is this high energy, high volume, loud, just like you said, but my bartenders are still executing the same drink as if they would at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. It doesn't matter.
Killing it, by the way, just like nonstop. I've been there.
They mean business.
Yeah. All those other bars, but by the way, they're great bars, and they
are good bars. We love going there.
We love going to those places too. The Pastry Wars, been to Pastry Wars. I still get off the menu at Lalo. And believe me, we're gonna let's get a drink with them too. But I think it's fitting and extremely appropriate to have Carousel mentioned with those people, with those bars that have a very specific. They're in the zeitgeist of Houston conversation.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's that like inner circle-esque,
if you're a Houstonian, you've been there at least once or twice.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Miss Carousel just made it on Eater's Best Bars in Houston list a couple weeks ago. And all the bars that we love and admire and enjoy going to are on it too. So it's really, really cool to see Miss Carousel spoken about in the same kind of thread of conversation as all these other bars that we admire and enjoy going to, and we love their beverage program. We love the staff. So it's amazing, and it's a huge feat that we've accomplished, being able to kind of be like, yeah, we're cool like them. So it's really cool.
Definitely cool like them.